Neil, the Chancellor said that he wanted to put fuel in the tank of the British economy with this budget. Do you think he did that for business?
I think he started it. I think is probably the fair answer. I think we've got some very, very good news from corporation tax reducing. That's gone down a percentage point quicker than we thought it would go down. It's also going to go down to an end game of 23%, which will make us one of the cheapest economies well, certainly in the modern world, which is great news for the UK. We've seen some investment opportunities, so entrepreneurs relief's increasing, which should encourage people to think about setting up more businesses, making more money and generating value in the economy. So really pleased about that. We've seen R&D increase again, so we've got R&D for small businesses increasing. We're now getting 225% relief in the next 2 years, which is a great boost to most of the small businesses that actually get involved in that sort of thing. Keeps it in the UK. Again, a lot of things are really aimed at trying to make investment look attractive in the UK, and I think he's done a pretty good job of it, frankly.
And he made some changes to personal tax. What's your reading of it? It wasn't too clear at the time.
Yeah, I think most of the changes that are announced were already announced. So we see the personal allowance rate go up, and we're moving to that rate of 10,000 that they promised. So nobody will pay tax under 10,000. The changes to NIC and the consolidation of income tax and NIC will make life a lot simpler if we get there, but we are probably 3 or 4 years away from that simplification. My own take is that simplification is a brilliant idea, but very, very difficult to actually implement. But again, encouraging signs. I think there's also some encouraging signs that he's looking at the high rates of tax and wondering how beneficial they are to the UK economy. So business looks like it's very attractive to be back in the UK. You want people to be back in the UK as well. So thinking about those rates, what I think is a very positive sign as well.
And there had been quite some talk about him looking to tackle tax avoidance. Do you think he's focused on that in this budget?
He certainly mentioned a few areas. So stamp duty is an area where people have seen opportunities in the past to avoid the stamp duty, which is a big cost at 4% of a property value. And capital gains he's also mentioned. I think he talked about a number of £1 billion worth of blockages. Again, the proof's in the pudding. The difficulty is always knowing what that detail is. I think it's great to do that. I think it's the right thing to do. We want a very level playing field on what looks like a relatively cheap UK tax rate. So I think it's encouraging that he's moving in that direction again.
So a budget that can possibly deliver stability. How about growth?
Again, I think the encouragement is we're looking at ways to make people come to the UK, to look at stopping in the UK and investing in the UK. It's always difficult when you've not got a lot of money to spend. You have to find small ways of helping people get on, and I think he's done that. Will the big banks feel the same way? I'm not sure. The growth really from the UK has come from the banks in the last few years. He's sort of stabbed the banks again this time. He's going to have to be a bit more careful with the banks going forward, I think. So UK generally, UK PLC, probably not in a bad place. The UK banks probably in a bit of a worse place.